Re-encountering my ex-boyfriend in his clinic, she ostentatiously flaunted her new love, only to be met with the icy indifference of her former lover. His counter-move turned her carefully planned provocation into a joke. That night, alcohol numbed her true feelings, and a no slipped out. When she woke up, the marks on the sheets hinted at his restrained tenderness, or perhaps her drunken loss of control. The catching the cheater drama I meticulously planned went awry right from the start. Dr. Ethan, please take a look at my husband. Ashley, that is me, sweetly held on to Leo beside me, deliberately emphasizing the pronunciation of the word husband. The man before me, Ethan, my ex-boyfriend, glanced at us, his eyes behind his glasses as calm as a stagnant pool, without the slightest ripple, let alone the burning anger I was expecting. Have you registered? He asked routinely, his tone cold and distant, as if we were just two insignificant strangers. I cursed the old fox inwardly, but smiled even more brightly on my face. ISNTDR, Ethan personally seeing patients? Do I need to register for such a small matter? Leo cooperated well, immediately chiming in, yes, doctor, my situation is a bit special. It's better to talk to someone I know. Ethan finally looked up, looking directly at Leo, a smile playing on his lips. An acquaintance? I don't remember having any acquaintance with you, sir. The air instantly froze, and the temperature in the consulting room seemed to drop several degrees. I felt Leo's arm stiffen slightly, but I knew he wouldn't back down. This show has only just begun. Dr. Ethan is so forgetful, Leo retorted, not willing to be outdone. But it doesn't matter. After today, we will definitely become /acquaintances. Ethan chuckled and pointed to the examination bed next to him. Now that you're here, let's get you checked out. Early detection and treatment of problems can prevent them from affecting your married life. He emphasized the words married life, with a hint of subtle sarcasm. I secretly felt smug. It seemed he still cared about me, but he was just pretending to be calm. The inspection process was simply a farce. Ethan pretended to be serious on the surface, but actually made things difficult for Leo in every way. One moment he would say the posture was wrong, the next he would say the strength was insufficient, treating Leo like a lab rat. Although Leo was unhappy inside, he endured and cooperated to go along with my plan. I felt a secret sense of satisfaction watching him look so frustrated. Okay, Ethan finally ended the torment. From a preliminary look, there are no major problems. However, some details still need further inspection. He paused, his eyes sweeping over me and Leo meaningfully. Of course, it could also be other reasons that caused certain functional impairments. After all, some things aren't physical problems, but psychological ones. I could hear the subtext in his words. Was he hinting at Leo, or was he alluding to me? Dr. Ethan is indeed insightful, Leo responded with a forced smile. The test results haven't even come out yet, and he's already drawing conclusions. But that's okay, we will cooperate with the doctor's treatment. That's good, Ethan said as he got up to see them out, his tone indifferent. Goodbye, I won't see you off. As soon as they walked out of the office, Leo exploded. What does this Ethan guy mean? Is he deliberately making things difficult for me? I smiled and comforted him. Okay, you've worked hard. He's just like that, putting on airs. But it doesn't matter, we've achieved our goal. Achieved what goal? Leo looked puzzled. I don't think he takes you seriously at all. It's a waste of effort. How could he not take me seriously? I retorted. He's just pretending. Men are all like this, they'd rather die than lose face. Leo sighed. Ashley, what exactly do you want? Is it worth going this far just to provoke him? I'm tired just watching you. I fell silent. Actually, I don't even know what I want. Provoking Ethan is just a facade. My real purpose is to test, to confirm, to know if he still has a shred of affection for me. Actually, I'm not bad either. Really, Leo suddenly blurted out. I was stunned for a moment before I realized what he was talking about. He was implying that he liked me. I smiled and patted him on the shoulder. I know you're good, Leo, but, between us, it's impossible. Why is it impossible? Leo pressed. We grew up together, childhood sweethearts, knowing each other inside and out. Isn't that good? Precisely because we are too familiar, that's why it's impossible. I sighed. Leo, between us, it's more like siblings than lovers. Siblings? Leo smiled wryly. Ashley, you treat me like a brother, but I don't treat you like a sister. Looking at his serious eyes, I felt a little touched. Leo has always been very good to me. Since childhood, he has been like a guardian knight, silently guarding me. If it weren't for Ethan's appearance, maybe I would have chosen to be with Leo, living a peaceful and happy life. But when it comes to feelings, one never has control. I can't let go of Ethan in my heart. I had just returned home when my phone rang. It was a text message from Ethan, saying he was returning today's consultation fee. A cold smile crept onto my lips, and I replied, "No need." My husband said no need to return it. Just consider it a red envelope for Dr. Ethan. Ethan didn't reply. I put down my phone, but felt a little irritated. Ethan's attitude left me completely puzzled. Does he really not care about me, or is he playing hard to get? To further test him, I deliberately used Alipay to receive the refund and wrote a note saying, "My husband won't let me add you on WeChat," to avoid being pestered by vixens. The next morning, the doorbell suddenly rang. I opened the door, and Ethan was standing there, his face terribly gloomy. "Where's the husband?" he asked bluntly, his tone icy. I was stunned for a moment, and before I could react, he had already pushed me aside and barged in. "What are you doing?" I exclaimed, trying to stop him, but he grabbed my wrist. "Stop pretending, Ashley," he sneered. "I know husband is fake. What nonsense are you talking about?" I pretended to be calm. "He really is my husband." "Really?" Ethan approached me, his eyes as sharp as knives. "Then have him come out and see me." I guiltily avoided his gaze. "He /us not home." "Not home?" Ethan raised an eyebrow. "So early? Where did he go?" "What does it have to do with you?" I said, exasperated. "Ethan, don't go too far." "Am I being excessive?" Ethan sneered. "Ashley, who exactly is being excessive? You were the one who provoked me first, weren't you?" As he spoke, he suddenly reached out, pulled me into his arms, and lowered his head to kiss me. His kiss was domineering and forceful, with a hint of punishment. I instinctively wanted to push him away, but my body trembled uncontrollably. The instant his lips touched mine, a strong feeling of nausea surged through me. I pushed him away abruptly and bent over, gagging. Oof! A churning sensation in my stomach overwhelmed me, and I couldn't help but vomit, spraying the filth all over Ethan. Ethan was stunned, staring down at the mess on his body, his face instantly turning ashen. He glared at me through gritted teeth, as if wanting to tear me limb from limb. I'm sorry. I apologized, wiping my mouth as I backed away. "I didn't mean to." "Not on purpose?" Ethan sneered. "Ashley, do you think I'd believe that? It's always like this. Every time I touch you, you feel nauseous. How much do you hate me?" He mentioned every time, which made me freeze instantly. In the past, when Ethan and I were together, I would have this physiological vomiting reaction every time before we got intimate. At that time, Ethan thought I was shy, or that I wasn't feeling well, and didn't think much about it. But now, he regards this reaction as my extreme dislike for him. I opened my mouth, wanting to explain, but I didn't know what to say. The bedroom door suddenly opened, and Leo walked out wrapped in a bath towel, his hair dripping wet and water droplets on his body. "Ashley, what's wrong?" He saw Ethan, his face changed, and he immediately stood in front of me. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" Ethan's gaze swept back and forth between Leo and me, his face becoming even more unsightly. "So, the husband is you?" he sneered. "Ashley, you really know how to act. Going to the trouble of finding a childhood friend to pretend to be your husband. How thoughtful." "Ethan, be polite." Leo frowned. "Ashley is my friend, and I won't allow you to insult her like that." "Friend?" Ethan scoffed. "Do friends sleep in the same bed? Do friends come out of the bedroom in the middle of the night? We /re just friends." "So what?" Leo retorted without backing down. "What does it have to do with you? You /ve already broken up with Ashley. Who she /s with now is none of your business." "Is that so?" Ethan approached Leo, his eyes full of provocation. "Then I'll see how far you friends can go." After speaking, he glanced at me coldly and turned to leave. "Are you okay?" Leo looked at me with concern. "He didn't do anything to you, did he?" I shook my head, but my heart was in a complete mess. Ethan's appearance completely disrupted my plans. I originally thought that he would care about me, be jealous, and try to win me back, but his reaction was beyond my expectations. He didn't seem to love me as much as I thought. "Ashley, what are you really thinking?" Leo sighed. "Do you still love him?" I was silent again. Love? Perhaps. If it wasn't love, why would I bother to test him and provoke him? I don't know either. I murmured to myself. I'm just unwilling to accept it. In the evening, I sat alone in the living room, drowning my sorrows in alcohol. What happened during the day played back in my mind like a movie. Ethan's indifference, Leo's gentleness, and the uncontrollable physiological vomiting reaction all made me feel confused and lost. Knock, 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 The knocking suddenly rang out, and I opened the door to find Leo. Ashley, I brought you some hangover soup. He was holding a thermos. Thank you. I took the hangover soup, feeling somewhat touched. Leo is always like this, silently caring for me and taking care of me. Don't drink too much. It's not good for your health, Leo said worriedly. I know. I nodded, picked up the sobering soup, took a sip. It was warm and comfortable. By the way, Leo suddenly seemed to remember something, and pointed to his back. Ashley, can you check my back? Is there something there? I put down the bowl and walked behind him, opening his bathrobe. I saw several red scratches on his back, shocking to the eye. I was stunned, and some vague images flashed through my mind. Last night, I seemed to have drunk a lot of alcohol, and then, last night, I stammered. Leo shook his head with a smile. What are you thinking? Nothing happened between us last night. You were drunk and kept pulling me to talk, saying a lot of nonsense. Nonsense? I asked doubtfully. What did I say? Leo smiled helplessly. You keep scolding Ethan, saying he's no good, and even saying you want to peel crayfish shells. Peel crayfish shells? I was even more confused. What the heck is that? Yeah, Leo explained. You kept muttering about peeling crayfish shells, and you kept groping me, grabbing me so hard it hurt. I instantly petrified. Peel crayfish shells? Groping? Hurt? Could it be that last night I looked at Leo in disbelief, and he nodded with a smile. You really thought something happened between us? Don't worry, I'm not the kind of person who would take advantage of someone in a vulnerable state. I breathed a sigh of relief, but also felt a little embarrassed. It turned out that I had lost my composure after drinking last night, and it was a big misunderstanding. By the way, Leo pointed to his abs. Look, there are marks here too. Did you scratch them? I looked in the direction he was pointing, and sure enough, there were several red marks on his abs, like they had been scratched by fingernails or bitten by teeth. My face flushed instantly. Oh my God, what on earth did I do last night? I'm sorry. I apologized repeatedly. I was drunk. I didn't mean to. It's okay, Leo said, shaking his head with a smile. I know you didn't mean to, but you have to be careful when you drink next time. Don't grab people randomly again. I smiled awkwardly, but my heart was even more confused. I have a physiological aversion to Ethan, but I don't seem to have that reaction to Leo. Could it be that I'm not as resistant to Leo as I thought? The next morning, when I woke up, I found bloodstains on the sheets and my pants. Crap, my period came. I was worrying about how to handle it when Leo walked in carrying a basin of water. Let me help you wash them, he said with a smile. No need, I can do it myself. I quickly stopped him. It's okay, let me do it, Leo insisted. You're not feeling well, just rest. Watching him expertly scrubbing the sheets and pants, I felt a warmth in my heart. Leo is really good, so good that I feel like I would regret it for the rest of my life if I missed him. But, can I really completely let go of my feelings for Ethan? I began to recall my past with Ethan. We were once so in love, so sweet, but why did we end up where we are today? Is it because of Lee Chenyue? Was it her appearance that ruined the relationship between me and Ethan? Or is it because of my own problems? I remembered my childhood. My mother was subjected to domestic violence and died. My stepmother was mean, and my father remarried. Those painful memories flooded my mind like a tide. I finally understand that my psychological barriers to contact with the opposite sex, and my physiological vomiting reaction to Ethan, all stem from my childhood trauma. Because of fear, because of terror, I instinctively reject intimate relationships. Perhaps my breakup with Ethan wasn't because of a lack of love, but because I couldn't overcome the obstacles in my own heart. But why don't I have this kind of rejection towards Leo? Could it be that Leo is the one who can truly heal me? Just as I was thinking wildly, my phone suddenly rang. It was my father calling. Ashley, can you do me a favor? My father's voice sounded a little embarrassed. What is it? I asked. It's like this, father said hesitantly. Your stepmother, Lee Chenyue, has been constantly urging me to see a urologist lately, saying there's something wrong with my body. But I always feel embarrassed and don't want to go to the hospital. So? I frowned, not understanding what father wanted to say. So, I want you to help me make an appointment with Dr. Ethan. Father finally stated his purpose. You see, you and Ethan are acquaintances, and I'd feel more at ease if he could take a look for me. I was stunned. Lee Chenue persuaded my father to see a urologist, and wanted me to help book Ethan's appointment? What on earth is going on? Could it be that Lee Chenue and Ethan have some unspeakable secret between them? Dad, are you sure you want to see a urologist? I asked tentatively. Yes, my father sighed. I'm getting old, and my body is failing. Chenue insisted that I go, and I can't help it. Okay, I'll ask for you. I agreed, but my heart was filled with doubt. Hanging up the phone, I immediately dialed Ethan's number. Dr. Ethan, hello, this is Ashley, I said, getting straight to the point. Ashley? Ethan sounded a little surprised, but quickly regained his composure. What's the matter? It's like this. I hesitated for a moment, but decided to ask directly. My dad wants you to see him for andrology. Can you help me get an appointment? There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds, and then Ethan's voice came. Your dad? Which dad? Just my dad, I explained patiently. You know, Lee Chuanyua's husband. Lee Chuanyua's husband? Ethan's tone became a little strange. Why does he want to see me for andrology? I don't know either, I said truthfully. Lee Chen asked him to come. She said my dad had health problems and needed to be checked. I see. Ethan sounded thoughtful. Okay, I can help you make an appointment. However, I'm quite busy lately, so it might have to be scheduled for next week. It's okay, there's no rush, I said. Thank you, Dr. Ethan. You're welcome. Ethan paused, then suddenly asked, Ashley, when are you free? I want to meet you. There's something I want to tell you. A thought struck me, and I knew what he was referring to. It seems my probing had some effect. Okay, I said, feigning coyness, then next week. Let me know when you've arranged a time. Okay, good. Ethan's voice sounded a little excited. Then see you next week. Hanging up the phone, I breathed a long sigh of relief. It seems there's still a chance between Ethan and me. I accompanied my father to the hospital. At the entrance of the urology clinic, we ran into Lee Chenue. She was wearing a tight dress, and her belly was slightly bulging, making it look like she was already several months pregnant. Oh, Ashley, you're here too? Lee Chenue warmly took my hand, smiling brightly. That's great. With you here, I feel much more at ease. I looked at her hypocritical smile and felt a surge of disgust in my heart. What exactly is this woman up to? Chenue, please wait outside for a while, my father said to Lee Chenue. I need to talk to the doctor alone. Okay, good. Lee Chenue nodded obediently and stepped aside. Father walked into the clinic, where Ethan was waiting. Seeing father, Ethan immediately stood up to greet him, his attitude very enthusiastic. Uncle, hello, I am Ethan. He took the initiative to extend his hand and shake hands with father. Father was a little overwhelmed and quickly shook Ethan_'s hand. Dr. Ethan, hello, I'm really troubling you. It's no trouble at all. It's what I should do, Ethan said with a smile, inviting his father to sit down. Only father and Ethan were left in the clinic room, and Lee Chenue was waiting anxiously outside. I stood in the hallway, watching her uneasiness, and felt even more suspicious. Before long, the door of the clinic room opened, and father came out, his face looking a little unhappy. How did it go? Lee Chenue quickly went up to him and asked with concern. The doctor said that surgery might be necessary. My father's voice was a little low. Surgery? Lee Chenue exclaimed. Is it that serious? What kind of surgery are you having? It seems to be something like prostate hyperplasia, my father said vaguely. Prostate hyperplasia? Lee Chuanyua's face became a little strange. She glanced at me, her eyes flickering. I sneered, knowing what she was thinking. Prostatic hyperplasia is a common disease in elderly men. Lee Chenue deliberately brought my father to see a urologist, probably to take this opportunity to humiliate him or achieve some ulterior motive. Dad, think carefully about the surgery, I said to my father. Or, should we go to another hospital? No need. My father waved his hand. Dr. Ethan is an expert, and I trust him. I frowned, not expecting my father to trust Ethan so much. Could it be that there really is nothing between Ethan and Lee Chenue? Oh, right. Ashley, Lee Chenue suddenly grabbed my hand and said warmly, Let's have dinner together tonight to thank you and Dr. Ethan. No need. I refused coldly. I have things to do tonight. Don't be like that. Li Chenhua said persistently. Let's have Dr. Ethan come along too. Let's all have some fun together. As she spoke, she looked at Ethan, her eyes full of implication. Ethan smiled and looked at me. Ashley, are you free tonight? Let's have dinner together. I hesitated for a moment, but finally nodded. Okay. Li Chenhua immediately beamed with joy. Great, then it's settled. See you tonight. In the evening, we arrived at a Japanese restaurant. The atmosphere in the private room was a little awkward. Li Chenhua kept toasting his father and Ethan, and kept praising Ethan for his superb medical skills and promising future. I sat next to them, absent-mindedly replying to messages from Leo. Ashley, what are you looking at? Li Chenhua noticed my actions and asked curiously. Nothing, I said casually. Is it a message from your boyfriend? Li Chenhua smiled ambiguously. Oh, Ashley, when did you get a boyfriend? How come I haven't heard you mention it? He's not my boyfriend, I said blandly. Not your boyfriend? Li Chenhua raised her eyebrows. Then who is he? Could it be? She deliberately dragged out her voice, her eyes shifting back and forth between Ethan and me, as if trying to imply something. I sneered and ignored her. Ethan seemed a little displeased. He put down his chopsticks and looked at me. Ashley, do you still like the taste of this restaurant? I remember you used to love Japanese food. I was stunned for a moment before I realized what he was talking about. In the past, when Ethan and I were together, we often came to this Japanese restaurant. He remembers my tastes and specifically chose this place. Is he trying to evoke my memories? It's okay, I said blandly. The taste has changed. I don't like eating raw food much anymore. Ethan's eyes dimmed for a moment, then returned to normal. Is that so? Then next time, we'll go to one you like. No need. I refused. It's better if Dr. Ethan and I meet less often in the future. Ethan's face darkened. Ashley, what do you mean? It doesn't mean anything. I met his gaze. I just think we've already broken up, and there's no need to keep things tangled. Li Chenhua, oh no, she should be called Sophia now, was watching the excitement and didn't mind adding fuel to the fire, and smoothed things over with a smile. Oh, Ashley, what are you doing? Dr. Ethan is so good to you. How can you say that? I couldn't be bothered with her and looked directly at Ethan. Ethan, are you and Sophia very close? Ethan was stunned for a moment, obviously not expecting me to ask this suddenly. Sophia's face also changed, and her eyes were a little flustered. Not close, Ethan quickly denied. She's just a family member of one of my patients. Is that so? I sneered. Just a family member of a patient? Then how would she know the address of my coffee shop? How would she know what I like to eat? How would she know so many things about me? Ethan's face completely changed, and he fell silent. Sophia hurriedly explained from the side. Ashley, you misunderstood. I only heard your dad mention you, so I know some things about you. Is that so? I looked at Sophia. What about Dr. Ethan? Did he also hear it from my dad? Sophia was speechless and looked at Ethan for help. Ethan took a deep breath and finally admitted. Someone told me. Who? I pressed. Ethan didn't answer, simply defaulting. I sneered inwardly. It seemed my guess was right. There was indeed an unspeakable secret between Ethan and Sophia. They were passing messages to each other through someone, and this someone was likely their common contact, or even their accomplice. It seems that the relationship between Dr. Ethan and Sophia is not as simple as you said. I stood up, picked up my bag, and said, I won't join you for this meal. Ashley, Ethan also stood up, trying to stop me. I ignored him and walked straight out of the private room. Ethan chased after me, all the way to the elevator entrance. Ashley, let me explain. He grabbed my arm, his tone urgent. Explain what? I shook off his hand, looking at him coldly. Explain your relationship with Sophia? Or explain the purpose of you approaching me? Ethan stammered, his eyes filled with pain. Ashley, give me one more chance, okay? I will deal with that someone. I will handle everything. No need. I pressed the elevator button, my tone resolute. Ethan, between us, it's over long ago. The elevator door opened. I walked in, not looking at him again. Stepping out of the Japanese restaurant, it started to rain. I stood under the eaves, watching the rain, feeling lost. Exposing the connection between Ethan and Sophia didn't give me a shred of pleasure, but instead made me feel even heavier. Just then, an umbrella was held over my head. I looked up and saw Leo standing next to me, holding an umbrella. What are you doing here? I asked, surprised. I don't feel reassured about you. Leo's voice was gentle. I was afraid you'd get caught in the rain. I looked at him, and a warm current surged through my heart. Leo is always like this, appearing when I need him most. Let's go. I'll take you home. Leo put his arm around my shoulders and led me towards his car. In the rainy night, the car drove slowly, neither of us spoke, and the atmosphere was a bit silent. Last night, Leo suddenly spoke, breaking the silence. My heart tightened, knowing what he wanted to say. Don't take last night to heart, Leo said softly. I won't mind. Leo. I turned my head and looked at him. Thank you. Silly. Leo smiled. Why are you being so polite with me? He paused and then said, Ashley, I know you still have Ethan in your heart, but I hope you can give me a chance. I will always be with you, protect you, until you truly let go of the past. I looked at his sincere eyes, and my heart wavered a little. Perhaps, Leo is really my best choice. Leo, I said softly, will you let me think about it? Okay. Leo nodded. I'll wait for you. The car drove to the entrance of the residential area, and the rain was still falling. Leo stopped the car and unfastened his seatbelt. I'll walk you up. No need. I shook my head. I can go up by myself. There's thunder outside. Aren't you afraid? Leo asked. I was stunned for a moment. Yes, I have been afraid of thunder since I was a child. Every time it thunders, I hide in the quilt and shiver. Leo knows this weakness of mine, so he came to pick me up in the rain. My heart was completely touched. Leo. I looked at him and said seriously, can you wait for me a little longer? Leo looked at me in surprise and nodded vigorously. Okay, I'll wait for you. A month later, my father's surgery was successful, and he recovered well. Sophia also got pregnant as she wished and spent her days bossing people around at home. My father's 60th birthday is approaching, and Sophia suggested throwing a big party and inviting all the relatives and friends to attend. I sneered inwardly, knowing her purpose was nothing more than to take this opportunity to show off her status and consolidate her position as a housewife. However, this is exactly what I want. I decided to use this birthday banquet to completely expose Ethan and Sophia's conspiracy. Dad, leave the birthday banquet to me, I said to my father. You should rest well and don't worry about it. My father was very happy. Okay, I'll leave it all to you. I started preparing for the birthday banquet. I specifically invited Ethan and told him that this was his last chance. If he wanted to win me back, he had to give me a satisfactory answer at the banquet. I knew it was a trap, but I believed that Ethan would definitely come, because he still had feelings for me. On the day of the banquet, the hotel was packed with guests and the atmosphere was lively. Sophia, wearing a gorgeous maternity dress and carrying her pregnant belly, moved through the crowd, accepting everyone's blessings and compliments. She even specially prepared homemade desserts, matcha daifuku, and distributed them to each guest. Everyone, please try my matcha daifuku, Sophia said with a smile. I made this especially for Dad. I hope you all like it. Leo picked up a matcha daifuku, smelled it, and frowned. Sophia, are you sure this is matcha daifuku? Why does it smell like almonds? Sophia's face changed, and she said with a forced smile, how could it be? This is matcha. Maybe I added some almond powder for flavoring. Is that so? Leo sneered, casually tossing the matcha daifuku into the trash can. Sorry, I am allergic to almonds and can't eat them. Sophia's face instantly turned ashen, but considering the numerous guests, she couldn't lash out and could only suppress her anger. I secretly gave Leo a thumbs up. This move was brilliant. I quietly gave Zhang-Yi, the cleaning lady I had arranged in advance, a look. Zhang-Yi understood and walked over to Sophia, whispering a few words. Sophia's face changed, and she hurriedly left the banquet hall with Zhang-Yi, heading towards the fire escape. I immediately followed them, hiding in the corner of the stairwell, eavesdropping on their conversation. I heard Sophia angrily questioning Zhang-Yi. What did you just say? Ethan is waiting for me downstairs? Yes. Zhang-Yi deliberately lowered her voice. Dr. Ethan said he has something urgent to discuss with you and asked you to go over there quickly. What does he want from me? Sophia's tone was a little impatient. Can't you see I'm busy? I don't know either, Zhang-Yi said, but looking at Dr. Ethan, he seems quite anxious. Sophia hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to go downstairs to see Ethan. I immediately ran upstairs, hid in a hidden corner, and waited for the show to begin. Not long after, Ethan indeed appeared in the stairwell. He saw Sophia and immediately grabbed her arm. Sophia, what exactly are you trying to do? Why did you let Ashley's father come to me for treatment? Are you doing this on purpose? Sophia was a little guilty when Ethan asked. I just wanted you to see his physical condition. After all, he's old, and I'm worried about him. Worried about him? Ethan sneered. I think you're worried about him dying so you can inherit his property. You're talking nonsense, Sophia said, exasperated. Ethan, how can you say that about me? Didn't we agree? You approached Ashley to help me get evidence of her father's affair, and I would help you get revenge on her for marrying me. We each got what we wanted and didn't interfere with each other. Didn't interfere with each other? Ethan's tone became even colder. Then what's with you being pregnant now? Whose child is in your belly? Of course, it's yours, Sophia said quickly. Ethan, I'm pregnant with your child. Don't you care at all? My child? Ethan sneered. Sophia, don't think I don't know. You've been with Ashley's father for a long time. You know very well whose child this is. Ethan, how can you not believe me? Sophia cried. I really love you. I did all this for you. For me? Ethan shook off her hand, his tone disgusted. Sophia, let me tell you, I have never loved you. I approached you just to get revenge on you. Now that my goal has been achieved, we are even. No, Ethan, you can't do this to me. Sophia screamed hysterically. I am pregnant with your child. You can't abandon me. Just then, the two bodyguards Sophia had arranged suddenly appeared and discovered me eavesdropping. They immediately rushed forward, trying to grab me and lock the fire escape door. I hurried downstairs, and Ethan and Sophia also heard the noise and chased after me. We met head-on in the stairwell. Ashley, Sophia saw me, her face changing drastically. You actually eavesdropped on our conversation. Ethan was also stunned, obviously not expecting me to be here. Eavesdropping? I sneered. Sophia, you've done something guilty. Are you afraid others will find out? You. Sophia was exasperated, pointing at me and cursing. Ashley, you bitch. You actually dared to scheme against me. Scheming against you? I approached her step by step. Sophia, who exactly is scheming against whom? You used Ethan to get close to me, stir up trouble between him and me, and even tried to use a pregnancy to swindle my father out of his property. You really know how to play your cards. Ethan shook off Sophia's hand, walked up to me, and said in a complicated tone, Ashley, I am sorry. You don't need to apologize to me. I interrupted him. The grudges between you and her have nothing to do with me. Seeing that Ethan wasn't helping her, Sophia immediately put on a pitiful look and begged me for forgiveness. Ashley, I was wrong. Please forgive me. I was also forced to do it. Ethan forced me to do it. He was the one who told me to do it. She still wanted to push all the responsibility onto Ethan. I looked at her hypocritical face and felt disgusted. I raised my hand and slapped her hard. Slap. The crisp sound of the slap echoed in the stairwell. Sophia covered her face, looking at me in disbelief. You actually hit me? Hit you? I said coldly. This slap isn't because of Ethan, but because you disrespected my mother. You actually turned her bedroom into your walk-in closet. Sophia, you have some nerve. Sophia then realized that everything I was doing today was not just to expose her affair with Ethan, but also to avenge my deceased mother. Ashley, you, Sophia said, exasperated, trying to snatch the phone from my hand, which contained the evidence I had just recorded. I pushed her hard to the ground. Sophia screamed, clutching her stomach. My baby. Seeing this, Ethan immediately stepped forward to help Sophia up and stopped me from taking further action. Ashley, enough. She's pregnant. Don't hurt her anymore. Just then, Leo rushed in with a few people. Seeing the scene before him, he immediately understood what was going on. He quickly subdued Sophia's two bodyguards, took the recording phone from my hand, and then stood in front of me, saying to Ethan, if you have any issues, come at me. Don't touch Ashley. At this moment, my father also arrived with a group of relatives. His expression changed drastically when he saw Sophia on the ground and Ethan confronting Leo. What's going on? Father asked, his voice trembling. Sophia immediately played the victim, crying and complaining to my father. Dad, look, Ashley hit me, and she even wants to kill the baby in my belly. It's all Ethan's fault. He seduced Ashley, and they ganged up on me. Zhongyi stood up in time and pointed at Sophia and Ethan. Master, I saw with my own eyes just now that Miss Sophia and Dr. Ethan left the banquet hall together. My father's face became even more unsightly. He looked at Ethan, then at me, with a complex expression. I took out the spare recording pen I had prepared in advance and pressed the play button. Clear voices of conversation rang out in the stairwell. Ethan and Sophia's affair and their conspiracy were all exposed in front of everyone. Listening to the recording, Father's face changed from red to white, then from white to green, and finally he trembled with anger. You. Father pointed at Ethan and Sophia, so angry that he couldn't speak. Seeing that things had been exposed, Sophia completely collapsed to the ground. The ending is predictable. Father lost all face and announced on the spot that he was severing relations with Sophia and kicked her out of the house. Ethan's reputation was also ruined, and he slunk away in disgrace. My revenge is finally complete. A few days later, I went to sweep my mother's grave ahead of time. The cemetery was very quiet, with only the rustling of leaves in the wind. Walking to my mother's grave, I was stunned. I saw Leo squatting in front of the tombstone, carefully wiping the dust off it, with a bouquet of lilies, my mother's favorite flower, placed beside him. Leo? I whispered. Leo looked up, saw me, and was a little surprised, then smiled. Ashley, you're here. What are you doing here? I asked. I come every year. Leo stood up, patted the dust off his hands. To see Auntie. I looked at the offerings placed in front of the tombstone, the snacks my mother loved to eat, the magazines she liked to read, and some little things she had mentioned when she was alive. I had almost forgotten these things myself, but Leo always remembered. Leo, my voice choked slightly. Thank you, silly girl. Leo walked over and gently hugged me. Your aunt is also my aunt. He paused, looked at my mother's tombstone, and said softly, Auntie, please rest assured, I will take good care of Ashley for you from now on. I hope you can bless us from heaven to be together soon. My heart completely melted. I remembered my senior year of high school when I plucked up the courage to confess my feelings to Leo, but he turned me down. His face flushed, saying we were just good friends. Later I learned that he was afraid that if a relationship failed, we wouldn't even be able to be friends. What a fool, silently guarding me for so many years. I raised my head, looked into Leo's eyes, and said seriously, Leo, let's not be just siblings anymore, okay? Leo was stunned. Then his eyes exploded with huge surprise. Ashley, you. I do. I interrupted him, taking his hand proactively. I am willing to try with you. From brothers to lovers. Leo hugged me excitedly, his voice trembling. Ashley, am I dreaming? It not a dream, I said, laughing and giving him a light punch. It real. We stood hand in hand in front of my mother /s grave, officially establishing our relationship. The sunlight streamed through the leaves and fell on us, warm and comfortable. I knew that the pain of the past would all become the past. In the future, Leo and I will join hands and move towards happiness together.